Alrighty, what's good? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a very interesting day. I usually don't talk about too much about politics, more social stuff from time to time, but today we're going to talk about a political person. And there's definitely going to be a lot of haters. There's going to be a lot of people who are very emotional, but I say chill out, right? But of course, you clicked on this video, you read the description or whatever for a reason. All right, we're talking about Matt Walsh. Now, I saw a video on Twitter sent to me by a friend. Also, I saw a video by Forever World and him reacting to it and got a little too emotional. You know, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to give Matt Walsh the benefit of the doubt, all right? This guy, from the content that I've seen from him, right, I agree with some of his takes, you know, but those guys in Daily Wire, a little too much, a little too religious, right? I'm not that big of a religious person, right, okay? So I'm going to give Matt Walsh the benefit of the doubt. In the video, he was talking about, like, anime is satanic. He has no real, you know, he has no real justification for it, no real thoughts about it. He's just blanket statement. And of course, to me, as I know this guy tend to be a little bit sarcastic, but of course he's very deadpan, you know, doesn't convey it in a way that makes it seem sarcastic. So, you know, I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt. But today, he made a video about it, and we're going to react to it. And yeah, so let's listen. Let's not get it twisted, all right? And let's get it on.
Yesterday on the show, I briefly mentioned a controversy that had, at the time, only recently started simmering. It was a controversy surrounding comments made by the humble host of this very podcast. And if you've been paying attention at all, you know that when my comments spark controversy, it's always because I have broached a very important subject.
Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, this guy, and the same as, like, you know, Ben Shapiro, Preach and ABBA, you know, those kind of people, Hasanabi, you know, Asmongold, they say a lot of stuff. People like or hate it, you know, whatever. They're those type of people.
And raised an issue of urgent national importance, such as, of course, the backlash over my advocacy for the rights of translucent mermaids. The topic this time around isn't quite that serious.
This is him being sarcastic again, and like I said before, he doesn't portray sarcasm in a good way.
Yes, but almost. So, as I detailed yesterday, during an all-access live chat this past Friday, I was asked to give my opinion on the subject of anime. And I spent about 35 seconds on the subject, in which I stated that, from my vantage point, anime is satanic. Now,
and this is where people pop off.
I acknowledge that I have no argument to support that view. I have no, perhaps, reason or justification for it. It is rather, as the kids say, a vibe. Anime has a satanic vibe. That's all. Have I ever seen anime? Do I even know exactly what anime is?
Honestly, when I saw this, I was like, Matt Walsh probably grew up in the era of, like, Astro Boy, or maybe like the old Saint Seiya with, like, Fist of the North Star. Like, he probably grew up around that era. And honestly, he probably didn't watch that stuff because, you know, different kind of content that this guy probably didn't grow up liking or watching. He probably didn't even watch whatchamacallit. He probably didn't watch Toy Story when it came out with his kids or something, or with his wife or whatever, right? So, you know, as it goes with these people, you know, most people that I know that are, you know, tend to go along these lines, they've never seen anime in their life. And then once you show them an episode of, like, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, you know, Fullmetal Alchemist, they're hooked, and they've joined the dark side.
These questions aren't relevant. All that matters is that, as I said in response to a live question someone asked, anime is the work of the devil. That's my truth. that I live in every day. Now, there are some who might assume that this comment was simply a half-assed, off-the-cuff joke about cartoons, and that's all. Now, there are some who might observe that I've also...
That's me. Now, if he is doubling down on this, then, of course, it's really stupid, right? Of course, he also says he has no claims to back it up and all that stuff, which, first, you should probably, if people ask you about anime, you should be like, I don't know too much about it. I'm not going to say much. I think it's cool. All good is good. Don't know too much about it. I think that would have been a better way to say it instead of, saying anime is the work of the devil. Again, as a person who grew up with anime, love anime, I literally talk about anime, and I'm probably the nerdiest person that my friends will ever know about anime. Yeah, he probably should have said it in another way instead of this kind of way. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but let's keep on watching.
Also argued for cyclists to be imprisoned. I've said that people who leave their shopping carts in the parking lot are morally equivalent to serial killers and should be executed on the spot. I've called for legislation outlawing small talk in elevators and the use of emojis by males over the age of 18. I even spent 3 months on this show attacking my own employer over his refusal to give me a giant stuffed walrus. So you might assume that my theories about anime's satanic origins should be taken in the same spirit as all those other sorts of comments. And you're right, because I'm totally serious about all of it. It's good then that social media took it with the seriousness that it was intended. I was one of the top trending subjects on Twitter nationwide yesterday, again, this time.
Man, this guy. I seriously think right now he's being sarcastic about he truly believes it, but if he does, he's a quack. But again, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's just being sarcastic, right? And of course, it's going to stir up a lot of controversy.
Due to my controversial stance on anime. A great many accounts with anime avatars expressed their hurt and anger over my opinion, leading me to believe...
Honestly, it's always people on Twitter. It's always people on Twitter. I swear, people on Twitter don't got a life. And I would say the same thing about TikTok. And also I remember watching something about TikTok in their terms of service and how in their terms of service, you're giving them the ability to get all your information, get all the ways and clicks that you do on your phone and everything. It's some crazy stuff. You should definitely research into that if you have TikTok, just so you know. But yeah, lost my train of thought, so we're just going to keep on going.
That maybe I was wrong about anime causing demonic possession. Maybe it actually just causes you to become an extremely whiny dork.
This world, man, very interesting. I'm not the biggest political person, but once, of course, 2020, or I think the near end of 2019 happened and everything happened, I started getting into this stuff. I started listening. I started, listening to what the heck is red pill, what the heck is blue pill, what the heck is black pill, all that stuff. I'm still trying to find my way through all this mess of trash and people's ideas and trying to at least give everything a fair shake. But as of this moment, if somebody doesn't like anime, it's fine. You don't have to force people to like anime, right? You can show them an episode. I keep on seeing this one thing on Instagram where it's anime is meant for kids, and then they show a collage of Tokyo Ghoul, Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto in the moments when Jiraiya dies and all that stuff, and then of course Bleach. No, not Bleach. One Piece when Ace dies and all that stuff too. I get it, right? But of course, people who don't understand and haven't watched it, they're not going to have the same feeling of emotional attachment to those characters, so they won't understand. They just get to see oh, characters die and that's it, right? But let's keep watching.
Meanwhile, the news media jumped into action. My randomly muttered hot take about anime made it into the headlines of several major news outlets.
Which I'd say is just... This is also another observation I've made. a lot of news outlets nowadays, they just make a lot of shit articles. They just talk about pretty much anything and everything just so they can put out content. And it's like not even good news. It's just like whatever the hell it is. Like, it's literally, what was this one thing? There's this one article that I saw in my news feed, and it was about Vegapunk is now confirmed female, even though we obviously later on have found out that Vegapunk, that's one of his like very several clones, and also in the history of One Piece, like they've always referred to Vegapunk as him and he, right? So we obviously know it's a dude. But yeah, it was something that was very stupid, and obviously, you know, they have a certain views socially and culturally.
Yahoo News reports, Daily Wire troll Matt Walsh denounces anime as satanic, though he doesn't know why.
Matt Walsh is a big troll. He likes to troll a lot of things. Especially I would say he's very deadpan-y, especially the, like, What is a Woman, whenever he did those interviews and all that stuff. I haven't watched it. I've only seen clips of it from the internet and all that stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of things to go about. There's some things that I agree with, some things that I'm just like, okay. And then there's not much that I disagree with.
Denounces. I denounced it. Mediaite says, Matt Walsh declares anime satanic, but admits he's not sure why. The Independent says, Matt Walsh says he thinks all anime is satanic and adults shouldn't be watching cartoons.
Like, the whole thing about like how adults shouldn't be watching cartoons, honestly, it's anime. It's made for everybody. They literally have a category for everyone, right? You want some furry shit, you got Beastars, all right? Go have your fun, right? Even though furries are fucking weird. You want your Yuri stuff, you want your, shonen ai, shoujo ai stuff, yaoi stuff, you got Boku no Pico, you got Citrus. There you go. Go have your fun. Leave. Right? You want your shonen stuff, you want your shoujo stuff, here you go. Leave. Right? There's a category for everyone. And, you obviously have your seinen stuff like Attack on Titan, Berserk. You have your, what was the one for older adult women? Yeah, there's josei. Like, there you go. Have your fun, right? And most of the time, a lot of the seinen and josei stuff tend to be a bit more adult-oriented content, right? A lot more gore, a lot more blood, a lot more adult themes, right? Especially in Berserk, right? So, to each their own. If you're an adult, kid, baby, it doesn't matter. You can watch anime. It's literally for everyone. And so, while I don't agree that you shouldn't be watching anime or cartoons as an adult, honestly, it doesn't fucking matter, right? I can't control you. I can only control me. You do whatever you want.
Newsweek takes a slightly different angle. They say, Daily Wire host who called anime satanic blasted by real Satanists.
If that's a real thing, that's some weird stuff.
Oh, well, if real Satanists are angry about it, then I guess I'm more right than I ever realized. So I can now, with more confidence than ever, say that I stand by my comments, obviously. Well, if you feel like you need more respect...
Okay, so that's probably it of the segment, other than his ad on buying land in, I think, Switzerland or something, and you can become a lord or lady, that type of thing.
Possession in upwards of 87% of cases, studies show. Recent reports suggest that listen to this, half of all Pokemon fans will become mass murderers. The other half...
Wait, hold on. We gotta go back. Hopefully this whole video is just him talking about anime now and like what it was his thoughts on it. So we're gonna react to the whole thing. But I haven't previewed this, so we're just gonna go.
Anime is satanic, and it leads to demonic possession in upwards of 87% of cases, studies show. Recent reports suggest that listen to this.
Okay, he's being sarcastic now. He's being extremely sarcastic.
Half of all Pokemon fans will become...
Or is it, what's the other word? What's the other word that's like, it's not sarcastic.
mass murder.
I remember the word at some point.
The other half will also become mass murderers. If any of my critics had ever studied history, they would know that Adolf Hitler, Genghis Khan, Caligula, all were anime fans, or would have been if it existed.
Okay,
In fact,
he's
and
really
this statistic is the most
going
shocking
down and just like
I want you to listen closely.
going crazy with the
Nearly
sarcasm at this point.
100% of all violent criminals in the country have seen Dragon Ball Z or have heard of it.
Wait, what?
Criminals in the country. Nearly 100% of all violent criminals in the country have seen Dragon Ball Z or have heard of it.
Okay,
or know someone who has seen.
Wow, he's really just digging deep now. He's super digging deep. He's popping off, mate. He's popping off.
Or heard of it. The numbers speak for themselves. Though in fairness, there is perhaps no reason to single out Japanese animation in this way. Sure, it's especially weird and unsettling, but it's from Japan after all, so what do you expect? Really though, every cartoon is satanic. That's the only clarification that I'll
Wow,
offer
he's
here.
doubling
Every
down,
cartoon
and
is
I
satanic.
find this
Look
funny,
at Paw Patrol, for
even though
example.
I'm not laughing.
Talking dogs with dead, lifeless eyes who engage in all manner of sorcery. The whole town of...
If your animation has, and if you're animating stuff and your characters have dead, lifeless eyes, unless it's like actually intended to like look like they're dead inside, you're pretty bad at animating. Not just going to say that.
Adventure Bay cowers in fear under the tyrannical regime of these beasts. Even the mayor, who's really a figurehead, obeys their every whim. There are no checks and balances in this system. The Paw Patrol are given free rein to be judge, jury, and potentially executioners. Now, when you consider that Scripture often uses wolves to symbolize the forces of evil, you begin to see in the Paw Patrol a sort of perverse satanic fable. And this is still one of the Taylor shows.
Once people get very religious, I tune out, just because like I don't care. But we just keep listening for now.
What about Coco Melon? A bizarre, deranged, plotless, hypnotic spectacle which places toddlers into an insensible trance-like state where they mutter incantations, summoning dark forces that they don't understand. These are yet more cartoon-related opinions that I am seriously stating, and which I hope will be taken as seriously as I mean them. Of course, hypothetically, as a thought experiment, if you were to pretend for a moment that with my infamous anime commentary, I was actually just making a random spur-of-the-moment joke about a subject that I really don't care about at all, and that Media Matters is creating a controversy over something that I forgot I even said 45 seconds after I said it.
This is where, like I said, this is where I think is pretty much the way he's going. Like, he doesn't know much about it, so he's just going to say something really stupid, and hopefully people just forget about it. But of course, people with, again, controversial, figures like Matt Walsh and all these people, right? People are going to make a big deal out of it.
Then in this alternate universe, one might make the following observation. It is sad that we live in a culture where you can't speak off the cuff or offer an opinion even ironically or in jest or only half seriously without it being clipped and isolated and turned without your consent into your die-hard mantra or fundamental belief system. I had people yesterday demanding to know why.
I do agree with that. It's very hard to just say whatever you want on the internet nowadays because people fear cancel culture. People fear, other people just hounding on them for things they've said and don't remember, right? I do find it pretty annoying, right? I do think that you should self-censor yourself, but of course, I don't think you should force your opinions on people to censor themselves.
Why I've chosen to die on this hill. Why am I ranting about anime? Why do I care so much about what other people choose to watch? Well, am I dying on a hill by making a flippant, hyperbolic remark on a subject that someone else asked me about? Is literally everything you say a hill you're dying on? Are you seriously pretending that you never...
Yeah, so he's basically just saying he's being sarcastic the entire time. Yep, I knew it. People really do just take clips and automatically form opinions. For me, I like to you know, whatchamacallit. What is it called? Trust but verify. I think that's the terminology. Trust but verify. That's what I tend to be like. So when I first heard this, I'm not the type of person to automatically get mad at stuff. But of course, this is going to stir a lot of people up. Like when I watched the video from For Neverworld and he got really heated, which, you know, for me, when I was watching that, I was like, "Oh, dude, chill out, man. I don't think it's that serious." And he would probably put out a video about it because obviously a lot of people on the internet, you know, watch Dragon Ball Z growing up and they love anime now, or they're newer anime fans because of Attack on Titan or Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen, right? So there's going to be a lot of people like that, and if you dog on something they love, they're going to, you know, go crazy, you know, act very emotionally, not logically. So this is pretty much what happens. But we'll keep on going.
Exaggerate or engage in hyperbole or say something outrageous for comedic effect? Are you pretending that you've never articulated an edgy or weird opinion, maybe seriously, maybe as a joke, maybe as some mixture of the two?
This is what I'm saying. This guy has a hard time, and I think his fans or people who hate watch have an even harder time, right? Understanding when he is saying something as a joke or sarcastically or ironically, right? As he said, it's very hard for those type of people to understand that he's just making a one-off statement because he doesn't really care or doesn't know much about it. And again, people are going to take these kinds of things and make a big hoopla about it, right? They're going to try to find dragons to slay.
Are you pretending that you don't understand these methods of human communication that are utterly commonplace and a feature of nearly every conversation you've ever had in your life? Yes, you are pretending that. You are pretending so that you can score whatever point you think you're scoring here. And the effect over time is that authentic conversation is stifled, and people feel as though they have to constantly speak like they're reading from a press release written by a corporate PR firm. The color and flavor of human conversation, the stuff that makes it fun and interesting, just kind of fades away. These are all things that you might say if you believe that I was not being totally serious when I declared all animation made in Japan satanic. But again, I was serious. I am serious about everything. If I was joking, I would laugh. Deadpan humor has never been my thing, as you well know.
Dry humor, is it?
And that is why, in the end, with all that said, anime is still canceled and cast back down into the fiery hell flames from whence it came. That'll do it for this portion.
Okay. So, I'm sure he's not being serious. Hopefully people don't take it seriously, because who really cares? It's just Matt Walsh on the internet trying to make fun of stuff and making fun of people who really get heated over this stuff. So if you get heated, he wins, right? Same thing goes for just about anything. Don't get too emotional, because that means you're losing. And if you let people control your emotions, well, you know, they're the one winning and you're the one losing. This is that type of thing. So again, right, I'm pretty sure he's sarcastic. He's just doubling down on the sarcasm and all that stuff. So there's not much to say other than that. I think I've said what I've wanted to say and explained what I wanted to explain. So that'll be it. If you guys liked the video, liked what I had to say and whatnot, and you made it this far, hey, please give me a like. Please subscribe to the channel and comment down below your thoughts on if he was being very sarcastic and just deadpan humor, or is it dry humor? I'm not too sure at this point. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. And peace out.